their March flight from New York to Las Vegas, or what was supposed to be to Las Vegas, had to be diverted, and that pilot, Clayton Osborn, ran through the cabin screaming obscenities and shouted about Iran, Iraq, and Israel. Remember this? Passengers subdued the pilot. The plane did ultimately land safely in Amarillo, Texas, and Rich Reiter was on the flight. He was one of those passengers suing JetBlue and the pilot, Clayton Osborn. He's there with his attorney, Jonathan Reiter. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Mr. Reiter, I just want to begin with you. Take me back to that day. I remember that whole story broke on, during this show. I talked to a passenger in Amarillo on the ground. I mean, goodness, what was that like?
It was extremely frightening, nerve-wracking. I really didn't know if I was going to make it out of that plane alive.
I understand it was one of your friends, your buddies you were traveling with, was actually one of the gentlemen who helped take down the pilot. Is that correct?
Yes. The person's name is David Gonzalez. I know him for 15 years from being in the security industry. So, since then, what impact has that incident, that day, had on you personally? It'll never be the same. Flying used to be something I enjoyed, traveling, and now it's not something I look forward to. It's not something I even know. Unfortunately, you know what? It was a breakdown, and to be on that plane and not knowing if I was ever going to see my loved ones again was one of the most horrible experiences I ever had to go through. I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
I'm sorry you had to go through it, and I just want to ask, let me turn to your attorney here, Mr. Reiter, with regard to this lawsuit. I know it was filed on behalf of 10 of these passengers, alleging here JetBlue, quote, was grossly negligent in retaining defendant Osbon, whom JetBlue knew or should have known was unfit to be entrusted with an aircraft as pilot and command. What is it that you, your client, want from not only the airline, but from the pilot here?
The purpose of this lawsuit, among other things, is to make sure that this kind of an incident never happens again. The plaintiffs in this lawsuit want a full, complete, and thorough investigation of what JetBlue knew or should have known about the actions of this pilot before this happened. And this lawsuit gives us an opportunity to conduct discovery proceedings, to obtain all the relevant documents and information that JetBlue had about Clayton Frederick Osbon. And it would not be proper to comment at this point about what we know already.
Okay.
But there is going to be a great deal coming out about that subject.
Let me just get this in, because of course we asked JetBlue about the lawsuit. All the airline would tell us is, quote unquote, we don't comment on pending litigation. The pilot here that we're talking about, Clayton Osborn, claims mental illness. He's scheduled to appear in a court at some point tomorrow for a sanity hearing. Rich, final question to you. What do you want from him?
Well,
go ahead, Rich.
I want him to explain what happened, and also, personally, he should never be a captain of an airplane, because the man was running up and down the aisle, the man tried to open the door to the airplane, the man was banging on the cockpit. It was complete and utter chaos.
And final question, if I may, Rich, to you again. You mentioned, this was a breakdown. You wouldn't wish this on your worst enemy. Have you flown since?
Well, I had to fly to Las Vegas that day to get to my destination because I had to be at the show, and very unnerving experience.
Rich Reiter and Jonathan Reiter, I thank you very much. We'll follow up with this lawsuit and see where this goes and what happens to this particular pilot. Thank you so much. And now, warning to American tourists.